the red light mean it's on? Yeah?
Put a few glasses of that, mate. I went about 4 fucking coffees today, man, and they fucking proper knocked me out. What the fuck's going on? Now I'm fucking double tired. It's like, come on.
All right, how are we doing in there? We good?
Yeah, rolling. I'm just going to do a sync pit.
Okay, lovely. So, what do you think, looking back at that time, because it's like 2.5 years, really, from being signed to playing Nebworth, what happened to that band? What happened to you in those 3 years? So it's a big question.
It is a big question, and it deserves a big answer.
As Oasis gears up to rock 250,000 fans, we're live from Nebworth.
By Sunday night, Oasis will have played to more than 1/3 people in just over 1 week.
Hi, this is Jo Wiley welcoming you to a rather special event, the live gig of the decade.
In just over 3 years, Oasis will have gone from being a new signing to one of rock's true giants.
Definitely like a fucking Ferrari. Great to look at, great to drive, and it'll fucking spin out of control every now and again when you go too fast. We're just lads from a council estate. 2 brothers, head cases. Oasis's greatest strength was the relationship between me and Liam. It's also what drove the band into the ground in the end, you know what I mean?
The Bible, yeah. Oh, what are them 2 guys called? Abel and fucking... Abel and Cable? Abel and Cable, yeah. Was Adam and Eve, yeah? They had 2 sons, yeah? These 2 sons had a fight one day. One fucking stabbed the other in that. Right, this is in the Bible, man. Get to fuck. That's what it's all about. That's why we'll be the best band in the world, because I fucking hate that swat. No, it's not hate. It's love. It's you hate. Not hate. I don't hate him. I love him. He doesn't hate me, I know he doesn't. He loves me. What you're saying is complete and utter fucking blasky.
For me, music, I wasn't into it until like when I was about 16, 17 maybe. Or anyone with a guitar or in a band I thought was a bit suspect, you know what I mean? And like, I'd hurl abuse at him.
I used to share a room with Noel. A bit of a stoner, a bit of a loner. You know, he had a guitar, so he was copping for it, you know what I mean?
Always very quiet, Noel.
Always in his room with a piece of paper and a pen, and he'd be writing.
Always strumming a guitar. Many's the time I went up and I knocked that guitar. I said, bloody guitar, you get on my bloody nerves.
Yeah, I mean, once I discovered weed and guitars, and you got into another world, what would you want to go out for? Everything I ever wanted in life was coming out of the speakers. I don't know why me and Liam would be so different. We both had the same childhood, do you know what I mean?
He was a devil, Liam. Full of it. Yeah.
Total attention seeker. Robbing your clothes, robbing your records, robbing you this, robbing you that, robbing your money.
Definitely a bit of a show-off, but not to the point where it's like fucking, you know, Bonnie Langford, you know what I mean? Or one of them little fucking brats with jazz hands.
Well, Liam was, allegedly, he was the cock of the school. No one messed with him. I think one day some rival school turned up and boshed him on the head with an hammer.
We were stood there having a cig. I remember all the lads coming down. This kid's pulled out this little fucking hammer and went whack on my head. Blood everywhere. Got out of fucking double maths, so that was all right.
I've got a perfect alibi for that, so it's nothing to do with me.
From that day on, I know it sounds stupid, but it was like as if something had fucking clicked, you know what I mean? I started hearing music, it started making sense, you know what I mean? So, whoever he is, thank you.
Somebody hammered the music into him. He's got a fucking lot to answer for, hasn't he?
All my life existed then was like going to sign on, getting me cash, cashing me dough, going into Sifters, getting a record, buying some weed, going into Greg's, going back home and fucking blasting it out and getting soaked in it. I was just obsessed with being in a band, just fucking obsessed, man.
Actually, I never thought Liam was interested in music until he used to sit out there in the kitchen and say, I'm going to be famous one day, he said, and you're going to be really proud of me. I said, am I? I said, well, I hope it's before I start pushing up daisies, because we need the money now. You know, and then, of course, Bonehead started coming around, and Tony McCarroll and Gwigsy. That's when Liam formed the band.
I knew Bonehead and I knew Gwigs, and they were in a band called The Rain. They'd heard I was cool and had my epiphany and all that bollocks.
Someone in passing just said, you know, Liam wanted to be in a band. Liam came round to my house. His voice was just like, whoa, you know, it's like, yeah.
I used to live my life in vain until today. It's been the same. I've gone away.
Wasn't the Liam we all know. A bit more softer, a lot more melodic. And obviously his look. I mean, he looked like Liam's always looked, you know. He had a great haircut, great walk. I love a bit of that.
He went, right, look, do you want to be in this band? I says, yeah, but we'll have to change that fucking name now because it's terrible. And there was a poster in our room with the Spiral Carpets. It certainly wasn't about Swindon Oasis. It was like, you know, there was a kebab shop called Oasis. There was a fucking taxi rank called Oasis. It's that fucking name keeps coming up, Oasis. Kind of a little bit out on our own. I just thought Oasis, that was good.
I'm not in Oasis at this point. I'm not in a band. I've no intention of being in a band. I'm just part of a road crew for Spiral Carpets, trying not to get sacked from this job because I've fucking blagged my way into it and I'm an absolute chancer.
The main thing was like getting Noel in a band.
Good morning.
He was the songwriter.
He's a tight bastard.
In my head, I thought he'll come off tour and he sees that we're doing it, instead of talking about it, he'll want to join our band and he'll do the business.
No. How's things? Just like the way they are. Cool and that. Easy. Easy, yeah? Amsterdam, innit? Amsterdamish. Yeah.
I've done a couple of tours of America. I'd been to Argentina. I'd been to Japan. As far as they went, I went with them. I met Mark Cole, sat in the back of the tunnel, smoking weed and doing the monitors.
And that's how I met Noel, pulling his fucking face, because this is his thing. He's the roadie for that band. And as soon as we started talking, we were fucking best mates straight away. There's one thing I'd remember about Noel, is that he never had a fucking dirty hand, but he loved that band. They were all terrified of him. And he's just the boss all the way from the minute go I met him.
I thought we were great. I mean, clearly we weren't, because we did get fired. Separately got fired by the band for being unprofessional and somewhat unapproachable by various tour managers. Lazy cunts. Yeah.
I'd like to thank the Spiral Carpets for sacking him. Well done.
We had some great, funny fucking times. I wasn't sitting at the side of the stage tuning guitars thinking, one day this is going to be me. I thought that I'd arrived at that point and that was it. I thought, this will fucking do me. Do you know what I mean? I was doing a gig in Munich. Somebody sound checking a bass drum. Boom. 1, 2, sibilance. Yeah, I used to phone home on a Sunday. Phone my mum.
It's Noel.
Oh, the phone. Just a minute. Oh, I got it out here.
All right.
Hello. How are you, Noel? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Just doing Liam's washing for him. Doing his dirty washing for him.
But anyway, chatting away about family stuff, and then I said, how's Liam? Oh, he's out rehearsing. What for? He's not joined the Shakespeare fucking group, is he? Oh, no, he's in a band. What? Doing what? He's the singer. He's the singer. He can't fucking sing. Oh, I don't know now. He said he's the singer. And that was it. And then they kind of got home, and our Paul's going, oh, yeah, he's in this band. They're pretty fucking good, you know. And then they were playing at the local band night on at the boardwalk, and I went down to see him.
Take me when I'm young and true. Was it me or was it you? Take me when I'm not so strong. Why has it taken you so long?
And I was like, wow, fuck, I remember being pretty impressed. They had their own songs, and Liam didn't look that out of place.
He's singing. After all the times I sat in our bedroom with an acoustic guitar and you used to tell me to shut up, now you've decided you want to be a fucking singer. No, what you fucking say out before you. You know what I mean?
The first thing they said, they kind of said, what do you think? So it's fucking great. And they said, we were thinking, would you fancy being our manager? I was like, what? The fucking are you talking about? No. And they were like, oh, because you know loads of people and all that. I'm not sure about that. I think you get a better manager than me. And then a couple of weeks later, Liam said, come and fucking jam with us. You know, so I went and sat in with them and was playing their tunes, and it was great. And then I think the second time I went, Liam was going, yeah, play him that fucking song that you played us. And then once everybody all joined in and you hear this thing that you've, in inverted commas, written, being played back to you in this room, and it's like, wow, fucking hell, that's amazing. It just went from there, really. Back, and it was really a mega moment, and then it went nowhere for 2 years. So I mean, there is the myth that I kicked open the fucking rehearsal room door to the theme tune from The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and said, everybody stop what they're doing, I am here to make us all millionaires. You know, there wasn't that at all, you know what I mean?
No, the truth is he got on his hands and knees and said, listen, I'll do anything, just please let me be in your band. I said, get up off your hands and knees, son, you're all right, you can do it. I think I've got a picture of it somewhere.
For that 18 months, 2 years, we never gave up. If nothing else, we were dedicated.
If we're going to get rid of Phil Collins and Sting, junk food music, McDonald's music, we've got to get in the charts and stamp them out.
Do you know what I mean? I want the severed head of Phil Collins in my fridge by the end of this decade, and if I haven't, I'll be a failure.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. That was our home for a bit. When everyone was in the hacienda popping pills and that, and all my mates would be knocking on the door going, what are you doing tonight? Going down to the fucking rehearsal room. The whole fucking city was like just immersed in this music that didn't make sense to me, you know what I mean? We weren't the best musicians, but we had spirit, man, and that was lacking massively at that point.
I always thought that we were greater than the sum of our parts, do you know what I mean? Bonehead, he was kind of the glue that held it all together. God bless him. If anything, I'd say Bonehead was the spirit of Oasis.
He's a top musician and all, Bonehead. He's like, he can play anything. But he's a mental cunt, and I loved his mad side, so me and him would get up to mad shit together, you know what I mean?
Quiggs brought a calmness to it all. He never got flustered. Loved cricket and Doctor Who and weed and Man City. I'd say fifth after that was being in Oasis. I'd say that came a lowly fifth.
Quiggsy chilled out motherfucker, man. Lovely lad, but just a complete and utter fucking stoner.
Tony was a person that I shared a room in the early days, you know, and I really got on with Tony. Really nice person. Very Irish in his ways, you know. Came from a massive Irish family.
Definitely the quiet one. The one that was most reserved. None of them lot had kids, none of them had responsibility. I had a different outlook on life. I always had my daughter in the back of my head. That moulded me.
Oasis was going for about maybe 6 months, a year, and I was writing songs just to amuse myself. And then one night I went down with the song and everything changed.
Maybe I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain soaks you to the bone. Maybe I just wanna fly. I wanna live, I don't wanna die. Maybe I just wanna breathe. Maybe I just don't believe. And maybe you're the same as me. We see things they'll never see. You and I, we're gonna live forever.
And Bonehead, he was saying, you've not just fucking written that. That's no way that's your song.
Well, I wouldn't believe it. For someone to come in a room and just go, I'll play one of my songs and then play You Live Forever, it's like, fuck off. You didn't write that. And he's like, why didn't I? I was like, because listen to it, you know. Wow, what a song. You didn't write it. Yeah, I did. No, I didn't.
I knew enough about music and about songs to know that that was a great song. And then one followed another. And it's like, no, this is happening now. Even if no one else takes any notice of it, this is happening.
I didn't really get involved with the music kind of thing. I was like, look, that's your thing, you do that, I'll just be cool as fuck over there.
Once they were in a band, I knew they weren't going to listen to me about steady jobs. They were up and down the country, like, and I'd say, oh, well, you might be lucky tonight. And I'd say to Noel, any luck, Noel? No. Then they'd go off again somewhere else. I spend my life worrying about them.
We didn't have one single paragraph written about us, ever. No one even said we were shit. Completely and utterly fucking ignored.
I kind of had a feeling it had happened, man. I don't know what the consequences would have been without it happening, because it was like, if it didn't happen, the world would be black, you know what I mean?
We were sharing a rehearsal room with an all-girl band called Sister Lovers. Unbeknown to us, one of the girls in the band, Debbie Turner, God bless Debbie, was an ex-girlfriend of Alan McGee's. The head of the coolest record label in England. We were asking them what they were up to, and they're saying, we're going up to do this gig.
I think I was probably being quite cocky, actually, in saying, oh, no, we're playing in Glasgow, which then, for an unsigned band to get a gig outside of Manchester, that was like playing Glastonbury.
And we were like, going, how the fuck have you got a gig? And not us.
She said, why don't you come with us? Be on the bill kind of thing. And we were like, yeah, Glasgow, fuck it, let's do it. For the pure love of it. If we all put in 25 quid each, we can hire a splitter van, we get up there, kip in the van, do the gig, get back. Yay!
So we hired a van out, smoking weed, all the nonsense, drinking. You know, in them days where you just go, it's fucking going to be the day today. Maybe it was the drugs or something.
We get there really early, and we said, we're Oasis from Manchester, we come to play tonight. And the guy said, there's no band down here. He said, yeah, it's all right with Debbie. And he's like, no fucking way.
I think we said, well, if they're not playing, we're not going to play. We'll do a really short set, which wasn't hard, because I think we only had 5 songs anyway. Then Oasis were allowed to play.
So we went on, we got to do 4 songs, and we didn't think anything of it.
Debbie didn't even know that I was coming up to that gig being an evil, twisted fucker. I thought I would show up to put her on edge. I really do believe some things are meant to fucking be. I'm standing here with my kid sister Susan. She immediately went, you should sign these. And I'm like, let's hear the second song. And it was like, I'm signing these. And the third song, I'm definitely signing these. And I sort of like went up to Noel and I said, I'm Alan McGee, do you want a record deal?
And I said, who with? And he went Creation Records, and I kind of recognised him. And that was it.
I knew it was going to happen. Right. I knew. It's all fate, you know what I mean? I understand it, mate, now, fate. Fate's weird or something. Alan McGee was meant to be in that club tonight anyway. He was meant to be there. Totally. It's as simple as that.
I don't remember anybody high-fiving in the back of the van thinking, hey, this is it. I remember going back to Manchester and getting in to where I was living at, 6 o'clock in the morning. And my then Mrs. Louise was getting ready to go to work. And I said, Creation Records have offered us a record deal, and she started crying. She knew then that, that was going to be the end of us.
I remember the day he came back and told me he had the record deal. And of course I thought, oh, this is great. I never really thought it'd go the way it did, though. And Liam says, all I want, Mum, he said, is to earn a bit of money, he says, and get myself some new clothes. And then it went haywire.
Mum was an angel, still is. Not impressed by all this rock and roll business, and rightly so.
Yeah, when I think of those times, you know what I mean? She kind of brought us up on her own, really. And 3 lads, particularly one of them being Liam, it's very tricky. I mean, she gave it all up for us, you know what I mean?
They wanted to make her proud, wanted to, get her from stop doing, 3 fucking jobs, put her feet up, you know what I mean, have nice things.
I hated it when I came over here first. It was a big shock, I'm telling you. To come to a big city like Manchester. Oh, I must have cried for about 6 months. It was after the New Year, I think it was 1963. Went to the Carousel and met him there. Tommy Gallagher. We got married after about 9-10 months, and that was it. He was lovely when I met him, Paul arrived 10 months after I was married. Then Noel arrived a year after that again.
We were dressed identical. She used to knit our clothes. So imagine, you got no choice. You couldn't say, I don't like that, Mum. But she's just spent 4 years knitting you a jumper.
Liam arrived 5.5 years after. It was great. No, that was the best time with the kids. I think there was always that bit of jealousy with Liam and Noel. I idolised Paul and Noel because there were only the 2 of them. And Noel was absolutely beautiful when he was a baby. And then, of course, Liam comes along. It takes the limelight off you. Probably thought, oh, but you could tell the disagreement sort of was there with them. I was glad they were together in a band. I would not have wanted Liam in a band without Noel. But it all happened too quick. Just too quick altogether.
Good evening, Great Britain! Hello!
Oasis, are you down there?
Certainly are.
You fancy having a bit of a chat?
Go on, then. Go on, then. There is a story about you lot getting signed to Creation. Alan McGee saw you in a club in Glasgow, is that right?
Don't believe the hype.
No, I did, yeah. There was like 7 people there, I think, and he was 2 of them.
Right.
And signed us there, and then on the spot.
Was he drunk?
He actually thinks we're the greatest band in the fucking world. He's phoned me up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning going, "No, man, we're gonna annihilate the fucking world, man." McGee wanted Bring It On Down to be the first single, and I was fine with that. I love that song.
It's punk. You're the outcast, you're the underclass. You don't care, but you're living fast. I just loved it.
I can't say why Bring It On Down was chosen, but it wasn't coming together. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with it, like.
I mean, it would become apparent why that session didn't work. It's because our drummer at the time wasn't the most consistent from one fucking bar to the next, never mind one day to the next.
And that's his big moment. That's that fucking riff. Just fucking do it in time, son.
Fucking hell, we're up against it here. We've not recorded anything. Why I chose to write a new song as opposed to record any of the others off Definitely Maybe is still a little bit of a mystery.
Noel's got the riff, but that's all he's got. So they're just kind of knocking this little thing, which all bands do, you know, little riff.
Someone had sent out for Chinese or fish and chips or something, or Chinese fish and chips. I went in the back room, and as bizarre as it sounds, wrote Supersonic in about however long it takes 6 other guys to eat a Chinese meal.
And he came back in the room with us, and he said, "Look, just written another song." And we nailed it and mixed it that night, rapid, because that's what we've been doing every night in the boardwalk, you know? And it sounded massive.
Give it up for Oasis, making their TV debut with Supersonic.
I need to be myself. I can't be no one else. I'm feeling supersonic. Give me gin and tonic. You can have it all, but how much do you want it? Make me laugh.
We'd done gigs before that, and there were people coming along because they'd read about us in the press, but nobody knew any of the songs. On the day that Supersonic came out, bang, the crowd were right there. And I remember people singing the lyrics to Supersonic. You know, they're singing your words back that you nonsensically wrote down at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning.
For what you wanna say, but before tomorrow, this my friend said, take you home. Sits in a car all alone. He lives under a waterfall. Nobody can see him, nobody can ever hear him call.
We'll play a town, we'll go off and do the next, and then come back to that one he did a few weeks before. Do it again.
Trouble seemed to find us at any given point. We're barred from a full chain of hotels, and honestly, nowhere to take us anywhere.
I do remember one hotel, the whole bedroom went out the window. Mattress, pillows, everything. If it moves, fling it.
I could never understand it. You know, hotel rooms being smashed up. That's like hard work. You get sweat on?
What do you do? Go to bed at 10 o'clock every night? I don't think so. You know, you only get it once. You're going to live it to the full. Have it. And we did.
You can't ask a 21-year-old lad to be professional. It's like, don't even understand that word. What are you on about? We're feeling supersonic and go to bed at 9:30. Give me gin and tonic, get my head down right about 10:30. Fuck off, mate, you know what I mean?
Although we argue and fucking hate each other and all that, because we're brothers, he sings Supersonic and he means it because I meant it. It's about passion. Brothers and family.
There was something very different about this band. Just had a devilish, belligerent, filthy little sound to it.
Coily could really mix sound in little clubs. He was really good at making it sound fucking epic.
No, I didn't understand what feeling Supersonic meant. But I'm with you, whatever it is, I'd die for you right now. That's how I felt about Oasis.
So do you get your friends working for you then so you can tour around in a big group and stuff?
No, just so we can exploit them. The thing is, if we didn't have them working for us, when we were away, they'd be burgling our houses. So it's best to have them on the road.
You're being
hyped as the best band around at the moment. Is all the hype true?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Good.
The best band about today on the planet. It's a fact.
We're in a band, we're into football, we're into taking drugs, meeting women, and all the rest of it, right? And we won't deny anything that's been written about us. Why should we? They want to write about it, fine. Our music will stand the test of time. That is a fact, right? All this media hype and all this thing about us being this, that, and the other, right, will be dead in a year's time. Everyone will forgot about it. The records that we make will be in the shops forever.
Sing along with me.
A couple of friends of mine from Manchester suggested I go and check the band out live. You know, as soon as I saw them play, I didn't have any hesitation in getting involved. Since then, it's just basically the rise and rise of Oasis. It's the sort of thing rock and roll myths are made of, really.
It was a wild tour. At one point, we're going to Amsterdam to support this band from Wigan, The Verve, our first international gig. So this guy picks us up in a van, and he's going to be our roadie, Jason Rhodes.
Yeah, the brush. Smart as a fucking dog. Marcus got in touch when I right, I want to come to Amsterdam. I went, yep.
And I said to him, all right, nice to meet you, fucking forget that. Did they give you a float? And he's saying, no, that's for petrol, so never mind petrol. And we took the float off him and then spent about an hour driving around Manchester getting drugs, and then set off.
Get on the ferry. I don't know how we get on the ferry because we're pissed, but we get on this ferry.
As fate would have it, there was a load of West Ham fans on this overnight ferry. It's got a casino on it and a fucking nightclub.
The Thursday night ferry to the Dam. Who goes to Amsterdam on a ferry for the weekend? What kind of clientele?
The drink of choice for a few hours, champagne and Jack Daniels slammers. The next thing is that sporadic fighting is breaking out all around us, really. Liam is very excited by the prospects of a lot of chaos going on, and he goes and joins in.
Yeah, it was fucking mayhem, man. I loved it.
You can see him running through the windows along the deck. He's having a great time. He looks like he's in a school playground chasing leaves.
Liam at one point said they ran through a casino and he flung all the roulette shit off the table as he was running past.
Then as a fight broke out, and all I remember was it was a bit Benny Hill.
The next time I see him, he's still running, but he's got policemen running after him.
Someone's punched someone, someone's kicked someone, someone's got nicked, and then we're handcuffed, sent down to the bottom of the boat. We get locked up.
Woke up next day and I spoke to the customs and I said, look, you know, I'm kind of missing 4 people. Do you know where they are? We were heading back, not having any money, couldn't phone anyone, couldn't do nothing. I remember getting to the hotel and having to ring Marcus and Ali, and they're going, you fucking what? You what?
And he says, you fucking blown it, you've blown it. But that was punk rock, man. I just went, fuck them. Never listen to a word them clowns said anyway, you know what I mean?
I called McGee, and I'll never forget this, and this is another reason why I love McGee. I said, are you sitting down? I've got some news. Everybody's been arrested. The only word he said was, brilliant.
A hell of a start, that, innit? That's a great first day at work. Love it.
Oasis were deported from Holland last week after they were involved in a drunken brawl on a cross-channel ferry. The Creation Act were forced to...
I thought it was great. That's how I want my rock and roll stars to act. Stick up for themselves, get in a bit of shenanigans, and that's it. We live to fight another day. To me, it felt right.
The thing about getting thrown off ferries, blah, 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 getting deported, is something that I'm not proud about.
Well, I am now.
Right, well, if you're proud about getting thrown off ferries, then why don't you go and support West Ham? Get the fuck out of my band. These lot think it's rock and roll to get thrown off a ferry. No, don't. To get... Shut up. These lot think it's rock and roll to get thrown off... Shut the fuck up, man. These lot think... And we're going to have to say this, Fat, are you going to shut up?
Being portrayed as young hooligans. Do you think that image is fair?
Is this my question? This is your question. Right, I ain't a hooligan. I'm not a hooligan. Right.
Obviously, once you get that reputation, there's always someone who's going to go, well, I'll show him. If it had never been in the paper having a ruck, that probably wouldn't have happened.
There was a full section of a tour. It was just going off every night. I felt that people were turning up to cause trouble. It's getting me down, if I'm being honest.
If you think you're a bit of a geezer, right, you ever through the fucking bottle, let's have you up here and I'll slap you in front of the crowd. I'm not here to get fucking just on out, mate. Fucking coconut star.
We were getting the reputation as these bad boys of rock and roll. That's all fucking great. But can we talk about the music first?
I think any band worth their salt is not about just the music. If you haven't got that kind of behaviour and you've just got great tunes, then you're fucking pretty boring as far as I'm concerned. It's about both. When both come together, you have greatness.
We showed their video a good couple of months ago. They've wasted no time in releasing a new single, Shaker Maker, Noel and Liam from Oasis.
Right.
Thanks for interrupting your hectic schedule. What's it like being brothers in a band?
He's speechless, look at that.
It's all right, I think it's all right, mate. I think it's very, very funny.
I mean, if you row, what sort of things do you row about?
Everything. Everything. We don't even have to row. All we've got to do is look at each other in a certain kind of way, and we row. Without even, like, opening our mouth. It's just going inside our heads, you know what I mean?
I hate the term sibling rivalry, but that's effectively what it is. I know my brother better than anybody else. Liam's like a dog, and I'm like a cat. Cats are very independent creatures. They don't give a fuck. Right bastards. Dogs just fucking play with me, please. Fucking throw that ball for me. We fucking need some company. It's as basic as that. Can't change the way that you are.
So finally, all members of Rave is expendable apart from you and Liam. Anyway.
Liam's fine.
I'm a cat, okay? That's just what I am. I've accepted it. I'm a bit of a bastard.
I don't know. Never just saw a movie making it. Might go far low now, so just go.
What can I say? You know, I'm a bit of a cunt.
They're two brothers, grew up together. One's one way, one's the other. Noel has a lot of buttons, Liam has a lot of fingers. It's that simple, really.
It's about a power struggle, is what it is. It's about me being in charge and everybody directing everything towards me and Liam being pissed off about it. That's basically what starts it all.
I think it all stems down to when he bought a stereo years ago when we shared a room. And I think one night I'd come in pissed and I couldn't find the light switch, so I pissed all over his fucking new stereo. I think it basically boils down to that. He's held that grudge. You need to let go of them grudges, brother.
Democracy never works in a band. It's been proven a million times, and the trouble with Oasis is you had two people vying for the Prime Minister job. That tension, that antagonism, it drove that band. And it killed that band, is what it did.
No lifting of the arms. He's got a better stance than me. He's a dick, a pistol.
Yeah, but anyway, right.
It's all about what's inside the fucking tin of beans. That counts. Not what the fucking wrapper is, or how much it costs, or who you buy it off, or what till you get it from. Or even if it's your Spar, your Quick Save, or your fucking Sainsbury's. Man, it's about what's inside the tin of beans, man. And like, if it's right, it's right. It's gonna be beans.
If this ever goes on like a video to the kids, right? I would apologise, but I'm not going to, because he's a prick.
One, two, one, two, one, one, two.
When people go, oh, what's the best thing about Oasis, was just getting that chance to record our album. Because we knew we weren't going to fuck it up. We were ripping, man.
So, we've been to Mono Valley, recorded what we thought was a great album. Everybody else surrounding the band kept chanting this mantra, oh, it doesn't sound like they do live, it doesn't sound like they do live. And I'm like, well, who does it fucking sound like? Spandau Ballet?
I said to Noel Gallagher, It's not good enough. I knew what Oasis should sound like because I'd seen it live, and I just knew that performances were wrong. At one point, he was so frustrated by the whole thing, he went, "Look, why don't we just put it out and we'll get it right in the second album?" And I went, "You'll never get to the second album."
It was not happening. The pressure was definitely on.
I phoned up Marcus one Saturday morning.
I really trust Mark Coyle to make it.
I do. Well, he just knows.
Yep.
You know?
He'll fucking create the sound, I think. Do you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah. No, I was like, oh, look, fucking hell, it's done, you know, let's move on. Yeah. He just wants to get on with it and finish it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know why they took that risk, just putting me in charge of that. No track record whatsoever.
The thinking is, who does the live sound? Mark does. So let's go do it live.
Time for plan B on Definitely Maybe.
Thank God for that, you know, because we all knew that Coyley understood it. He got us. He always made us sound how it should sound.
We hit upon this system in the sawmills. Everything was crowded around the drum kit. We just do 3 takes of each song and then move on.
I would have thought that album was recorded in 3 days, maximum. But I started mixing and didn't really sound very good. I think at that stage, I took it as far as I could.
I do remember taking a cassette, the final mix that we did with Mark to McGee's flat, and sensing that he was completely underwhelmed by it. And me thinking, fuck it, I give up.
Marcus announces that he's going to get Owen Morris to do a mix on spec.
Marcus got me in, because I don't think he knew anybody else. So I was very lucky to be in the right place.
And I'm thinking, but what has he done? You know, I don't get it. He did one mix, and it was just outrageous.
Session. That's when I met Liam. You know, I told him he sounded like John Lennon. He was like, "You got it." And like 1 in the afternoon, Liam lead vocal, rock and roll star.
There's no easy way out. The day's moving just too fast for me.
And I was like, "That sounds great, that'll do." And they let me do exactly what I wanted. And there was this new box, and you could make things twice as loud without going into digital distortion on your CD. It was in every fucking jukebox in the country, twice as loud. Funny as fuck, man.
It's just a pity that Definitely Maybe came out, and then we didn't see Alan for a couple of years.
I took too many drugs. More, that's what we were all about, and eventually it was too much.
That's what happens, isn't it, when you play with fire, mate? Some people can last the pace, some people can't.
Do you know what? I don't regret any of that shit. That's just life.
We didn't know it then, but he was the last of a dying breed. He's up there with the most important people in my life, you know what I mean? That's made a fucking real difference.
What can people expect from the first Oasis album?
12 songs that are about being alive and having a good time. About being happy, about enjoying yourself.
And then about being sad. You know what I mean? About knowing that you can get better. About everything, just life.
We run the risk every day, right, of being the most arrogant fucking bastards in the music business. We know we're the greatest band in this fucking country. Right. When Monday afternoon comes and our records are on the shelves, we've achieved what we set out to do. After Monday afternoon, we are cursed to be a chairman board.
Their debut album is already being hailed as the classic of our time. A year ago, they were playing to empty venues. Last night, they embarked on their first UK sellout tour. One of the biggest British bands since the Beatles.
There isn't a band like Oasis. They're trying to get the youth culture out of raves, taking drugs and stuff, and back into the gigs where they belong. And they're really good, and Liam Gallagher is just gorgeous, and I have his children.
Our first single came out in England 4 months ago. It went in the charts at number 32. Everyone said an indie band can't do that. Well, the album's gone out, and it's gone in straight at number 1, above Pavarotti, above Prince, even above Elvis. The fastest selling debut album of all time in England, and quite deservedly so.
Rock and roll star. I'm gonna say my God, and try real far. You're not concerned about the way we It's just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll. Thank you very much.
We're coming for the future. It's not up to us, you know what I mean? All we can do is write and record. But as for 1994, oh, this is our year, without a shadow of a doubt. No one can touch us this year.
So next thing you know, we were going to Japan. What do you expect? I've never been to Japan. So you think, all right, I'm prepared, you know. Nah, nothing ever on this planet was going to prepare me. Japan. Japan.
We arrived in Japan and there was fucking like 1,000 girls at the airport.
People waiting for us and shouting my name, Liam, Liam, no, quick, Tony. And it was just like, fuck off. It's like, this is Japan, but they know my name. Yeah, of course they do. It got me and I loved it. I loved every last minute of it.
Fucking hell. Followed us everywhere. Outside hotels, in the fucking foyer, outside your room, in your fucking room, everywhere you went. It was like mania, do you know what I mean? It was like what we'd always read about.
First time in Tokyo, right? Yeah, first time in Japan, first time on a jumbo plane. It's just mental, you know what I mean? This is mad.
Last message for the Japanese viewers.
It's just all off your heads and it's mad and it's top. I love yous all.
I absolutely love Japan. It was fucking mayhem. Griggs wasn't too keen on it. He was like, oh, it's not what they're fussing about. I'm like, ah, me, you fucking lunatic. That's what they're fussing about.
Is it my imagination, or have I finally found something worth living for? I was looking for some action, but all I found was cigarettes and alcohol.
That might have been the one time in my life where I thought, fucking hell, wow. How has it landed here? Why are all these people who don't speak English obsessed with it already before we even fucking plugged in and played?
To spend your days in the sunshine, you might as well do the white lie, 'cause when it comes on top, you gotta make it happen. You gotta make it happen.
I was writing for a Nancy Boys magazine as far as they were concerned. I knew that I was 10 years older than them. I was female, and it was all blokes. I was a mum. I just thought, right, I'm going to stay up later than you, I'm going to drink more than you, I'm going to behave more badly than you, because I wasn't going to get the story otherwise. The first night in Japan, we'd all been out, and we'd been about 3 o'clock in the morning. My head had just hit the pillow and the phone rang. He was calling me. Picked up the phone and it was Liam. Get down here now. So I walked down the corridor back into a room and Liam said to me, and honestly, it was like he was shimmering. He just said to me, do you believe in God? Do you think there's a God? And I sort of looked at him and I said, how did we get onto this one? He said, because I don't believe there's a God. Because if there was a God, all that wouldn't have happened. And I said, what wouldn't have happened? I didn't know what he was on about. There was all this pent-up, simmering rage.
I was definitely angry with life and that, I guess, you know what I mean? You know, shit with me dad and just life in general. I was an angry young man. Singing them songs sort of released all my shit onto other people, but in a good way, you know what I mean? And my dad used to knock me mum about. There was many times when, like, it got like that. He never touched me. I don't know why he didn't. And, you know, sometimes you'd want the crack instead of having to witness it.
He used to kill Noel. Noel was the one that got it the most. I remember Noel once saying, if you don't get out of here, Mum, and leave him, he says, I'm going to kill him. And I thought, oh, Jesus, you can't be doing time for the likes of him.
Yeah, my dad used to beat living daylights out of me. I've never felt compelled to either talk about it or write about it. I know that I think it's no one else's business. You can't let that kind of thing affect you in any way, because then you're carrying that weight all the way through life.
He always thought you'd never leave him, because you'd know where to go to. You'll never leave me. I said, won't I? Try it. One night, we got the courage to get out, and I left him a knife and a fork and a spoon, and I think I left him too much.
Well, he never once come after us. Wasn't there. It was a sense of, see you later, we're free.
It definitely affected them, because they got very bitter.
I wouldn't say I was scarred, but everybody's childhood makes them what they are. You can't think about it too deeply because it would fucking drive you mad. I think it benefited me in the way that it made me withdraw into my own world, and from that came the learning to play the guitar. I guess in some way, my old fella beat the talent into me.
On Live 105, Oasis. Supersonic, yeah.
The contrast of getting on a plane and coming from Japan, where the mania was like fucking blam, then getting to America, where nobody had heard of us, that didn't freak me out. I was ready to start again, you know what I mean? But I also knew that you won't get anywhere on attitude in the States. You've got to be able to play.
Yeah, Oasis. I went over there with definitely a fucking chip on my shoulder, but a good chip, you know what I mean? It was like, look, we're going to fucking have yous, and if you like us, great. If you don't, give a shit.
American customs, been asked a question to fucking blow Liam's mind, you know what I mean?
All right, what we got here then?
He's a singer.
What's the purpose of your visit? You what? What fucking visit? I'm not visiting, mate. I'm fucking rock star. I'm here to steal your soul. Okay, you can follow me now, sir. You're coming this way.
There's all this pressure that's on the bands to break America as well, you know. But breaking America quite often breaks the fucking band because they're that concerned about it, and it's that vast. Fuck me, man. You have a good time and all that, but I tell you what, when you get home, your carpet don't look the same.
And we've got the two Gallagher brothers from the band Oasis. You're playing at the Whiskey tonight. Is it sold out?
Of course,
Do you know?
it's sold out.
Okay. And what have you been doing?
We've just been doing all those interviews and working, and Melissa's been making us work that hard. She's on top.
I think what they said was there were some interviews and hanging out and doing work and stuff.
So you're right.
I'll be the translator here.
Doodle, 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 doodle. Take a root, boo.
Anything else?
Someone had discovered the joys of crystal meth, which is effectively like ninja speed. It's not even fun, you know what I mean? It's a fucking horrible drug.
I don't know who fucking got it, but it was there, and we all thought it was coke. And we were doing big fucking lines of it, and it just fucking kept us up for days.
Everybody had a dig at it. The only problem with that is that you couldn't get sleep. You couldn't sleep, right? I don't mind having a dig at anything, as long as, you know, come about 10:30 at night, cup of tea and go to bed.
The Whiskey Go-Go on Sunset Strip, fucking hell. It's the most famous club in LA. We get to the sound check, everybody's been up all night and looked like it.
All right, LA, Whiskey A Go-Go. This is the spot. The best band in Britain. I say they're the best band in the universe. None other than Oasis.
They love it. This one's called Rock and Roll Star.
Everyone was appalling. Every member of the crew, every member of the fucking band, because of crystal meth.
Phil Smith, our roadie, was responsible for putting the set lists out. For some reason, my set list was different to everybody else's.
They were all playing different songs at the same time. Whoa, what's going on here?
It was a shambles, man. It was an absolute fucking shambles.
See what I can for you, you know.
And the whole thing just fell apart. I'd never seen it with this band before.
Right, rock and roll start again.
I think there were a lot of tension on stage, a lot of gesturing between Noel and Liam, a lot more from Liam to Noel, and then, yeah, the tambourine came flying.
I think he said something, and then I fucking launched the tambourine at him or something.
Not like the Bruce Lee throwing star or a fucking lightsaber, it was a tambourine. But when it hit me on the shoulder, went out of time, I might add.
It's lucky I didn't fucking launch a monitor at him or something, or a fucking drummer.
I could see Liam was going down one of the amps throughout the gig, man, and he was just snorting lines of crystal meth on stage. That's gonna go tits up, innit?
That's the whole feeling supersonic in Los Angeles. Oh, you're all just faking it.
It was a bit of a catastrophe. Yeah, I was in a fury. I left a little bit of me on that stage that night. After that night, it was more me and them as opposed to us. I remember going back to the hotel and saying to Maggie, our tour manager, I think I took the float off her.
Noel was quite upset about it. He said, can you give me money? And I said to him, well, what do you want? And he goes, well, enough money to go back home. So I just gave him like $700. That's all I had, I said, you know? He said, can I have my passport? So I gave him a passport. I remember ringing up Marcus saying, he's going to leave. He's like, no, it'll be fine, He's going to sleep it off, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. I was like, I don't think so.
I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I thought it was the end. I really don't know.
He takes the money and runs. I remember some fucking soppy note coming through the door saying, like, how can we go on like brothers? It was like, fuck, right off. So that got rolled up, and then another line of crystal meth went up the old fucking tubular bells.
So I woke up in the morning and I found a note underneath my door. And I opened it up and I knew it. He said, I'm leaving. Bollocks.
He's gone missing. Nobody knows where he is.
There's a songwriter gone. Shit. I think it's really over, isn't it?
I came up with this idea. I got his bill, and then I traced all the last numbers he rang. And then I noticed there was one number, 415. I thought, San Francisco. We've just been to San Francisco. And I knew that he had some little fling over there. Mark, he's like, I'm going to ring the number. So he gets her on the phone. He says, you know, we're not saying anything, but obviously, legally, he's a missing person, you know? And I'm going to have to get the police involved. And the minute he hung up the phone, I said, he's there.
Let me see if I can get my story straight here. I met this girl at an Oasis gig. I must have phoned her and said, it's fucked up here. But I got on a plane and flew off to San Francisco. I don't know what the fuck I thought I was doing. I was just going to, like, disappear, you know. It was quite a traumatic time, but Talk Tonight was written about those few days. And out of that came that great song. So it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Sleeping on a plane, you know you can't complain. You took your last chance once again. I landed, stranded, hardly even knew your name. I wanna talk tonight until the morning light, about how you saved my life. You and me see how we are.
I kind of sat in this girl's flat, probably doing too many fucking drugs and being a bit fucking mad. Unbeknown to me, they'd found out this is where we think he is. If I close my eyes now, I can't even picture the girl. I can't remember her name. It's a bit of a blur.
You meet them people in America, you don't meet them anywhere else in the world. They take you under their wing. You know, they're spiritual people is what they are. She was one of them.
She was saying, what, you're going to leave? And what are you going to do? And I guess at that point, I'm thinking, oh, well, actually, that's a fucking good point. What am I going to do? I can't sing. I wasn't a singer then. I'm no front man. I just needed a bit of time out, I guess. I may have been trying to teach somebody a lesson and failed miserably. I think we'd heard about a couple of days that, yes, he's coming back. It means the band's staying together rather than going home and signing on the dole. And obviously by the time he's about to turn up, everyone's fucking shitting it, you know, because he can put on a stern face. You know, he can unsettle you.
And the new era started when he walked back into that hotel, and everything was different after that. And we all had to be different, because if you're not with him, you're going home.
I'd written these new songs, and someone had booked a recording session. Like, this was Oasis's fucking cure for everything. Let's go in the studio.
Talk Tonight. That's one moody fucking song, that. And it shows that little delicate side to him that you just don't really see. He doesn't show these emotions, no. He never did. Apart from when you stick him behind the glass with a microphone, and then he can let this emotion loose that he's got. But suddenly you can see Noel. You kind of see almost a little boy or something, you know? Something very, very innocent and very pure. They're my favourite moments. It's like door opens and a bit of light comes in, and then the door's shut again, you know, and he's calling you a twat.
Some might say the sunshine follows.
In those days, I would write every day because I was fucking so driven. I recognised that I was in a moment, and everything that I wrote felt great. There's a strange melancholy, to some might say, considering I knew it was going to be #1 before he even sat and wrote it. I fucking knew it.
What is going on in this room now? I can walk next door to Boys Home, yeah, go in there and be like, hey, fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ, we've got to get this fucking flick together now, because, like, it's not in time. And, like, if it's not in time, this fucking mean you going, like, hey, you go in there, and he's like, well, hey, oh, hey, you know, but you come in this room, and it's like, you know, it's the funny farm, and that's what it's all about. It's like, do what you friggin' want. If you want to go like that, do it, because it don't mean nothing. If you want to go, oh, do that. If you want to go, hey, fuck, man. Like, hey, fuck, like, you do that. But if you want to just do this, what I'm doing here now, just do it, right? Because it's like, right? This is an advert for not taking drugs. Oh, this is an advert, this is an advert. It's not getting into chemical abuse big time. Hey, people who know that I have not been a fucking, I've never been an abuser. I've never been an abuser, I've been a user. I've never been an abuser, man. And they know, I think doing drugs to do with the air, man. Yeah, the air, man. Music, and that is it, and I'm ranting now. You know what I mean? It's right.
TV performance of their brand new song. It's the best song around. It is Some Might Say.
Yeah, and that was Tony's last gig. Yeah, I'd probably made up my mind, knowing that Champagne Supernova was coming up and Don't Look Back in Anger and Wonderwall, that he wasn't going to be able to play those songs. It became apparent recording, definitely, maybe. We spent a lot of time fucking about trying to get the drums right, and it was never right.
When we were doing Some Might Say and stuff, Noel was like to me, it's fucking last time he's ever in the fucking studio. I was going to Tony, you've got to get your shit together, Tony. All by Tony.
Drummers are really smelly, useless, talentless losers, man. I mean, fancy having a job where you bang things all day. That's like orangutans do that, don't they? And gorillas and monkeys and that. They just bang things, like bang dustbin lids on their heads and all that. That's what they do, isn't it? And drummers just do it and get paid loads of money for it. Fucking sack 'em all drum machines, I say, man. Telling you, can't wait till I'm in a dance band. Press the button. Doesn't answer back, don't have to feed it, don't have to pay no money, don't have to buy any drugs, don't have to get any women, don't have to do nothing. Put it in a flight case and fuck it in the back of the truck and then speak to it again.
As it went through that American tour, it got really nasty with Tony. and you'd have to feel for the boy. I'd hold my hands up and say I give him a terrible time as well.
And I shared a room with him. Tony would just pour it out like fucking hell, Bonard, you know, people are getting at me and people are doing this. Hard for me, you know, to be the guy in the middle. Maybe I'd talk to Noel or talk to Liam, look, go easy on the guy, man.
I was quite a reserved guy. I think people might have looked at that as some kind of weakness, but no. I didn't want to be the leader. I'd sit back here and do my drums. You know, like when a pack of feral dogs exclude one puppy? It became like that, I think.
Our kid, I just think, made his mind up, you know what I mean, and just didn't fancy him. He's not going to be able to do these next songs, or I don't want him to do it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I was gutted for him, but it is what it is, man.
I had an argument with Noel. He said something and I finally went, fuck you, mate, you know what I mean, fuck off. I told him in no uncertain words what I thought of him. I kind of regret that a touch. We might have had words. It's quite likely, I don't know. Whatever he says is probably true. I wouldn't deny it at all. I was at home and Marcus phoned. He says, he sat down. Listen, I've got some bad news for you. The band want you out. I was shell-shocked. Still, to this day, it's with me. I think about it every day, believe it or not.
Hard for him, you know, poor old Tony, but all of a sudden it's like, shit, we need another drummer.
Paul Weller's drummer had a brother called Alan, and I was going, right, cool, I'm asked, what does he look like? Smedley little mod. Cool, let's get him down here.
And I'd never met this guy before. He starts talking about the drums, and I'm like, I'm fucking not interested in how you can play. As long as you look the part, you'll do. By the way, you're doing Top of the Pops on Wednesday. And that was his first thing.
Some might say we will find a brighter day. Some might say we will find a brighter day. Yeah, 'cause I've been standing at the station in need of education in the rain. You made no preparation for my reputation once again. Some might say.
Morning Glory was incredibly quick and easy. Rockfield, the Posh Studio, fucking Queen and all that, fucking Bohemian Rhapsody and all that.
Hello.
Don't film me, Tim. Seriously.
He's giving birth.
I'm fucking knackered.
Right, let's play this track on. This is the nerve centre, the bridge, as we call this. Full steam ahead.
Oh, I don't know where a fucking light is. I don't know where anything is at the moment.
But you know where the top is, don't you? Because that's where we're going, Maurice.
The topmost and the most poppermost. Noel had the songs and the arrangements, and he was totally in control of the band. So that first week of Morning Glory, we were doing a song a day. Finished. Extraordinary. He is like God, isn't he?
I knew the songs were a lot more richer than Definitely Maybe. I knew they were, like, definitely gone up a notch. I loved Owen, mental Welshman. He was always setting fires shit and things were always blowing up because he had it too loud. No rule book, with his big mad laugh going, yeah, let's fucking have it. They were the best times I ever had recording.
Sounding gorgeous and sexy and
I'm after it.
all that. Gotta be a priorities, right?
Only a football, man. Fucking losing the league, man, for it.
Liam was extraordinary. And they had this freaky thing where Noel would play the song once on acoustic guitar in the control room to Liam, give him the words, and he'd fucking sing it. Noel would listen to it once to check Liam's got the phrase in for the entire song that he's only just heard the once. Noel would go, nice one, Liam. And there was always football on when Oasis were recording. Noel would fuck off, Liam would just bang another 4 tracks down. It'd be like 1 in the afternoon. Cup of tea, lead vocal, done. You're like, what the fuck? You know, he's only heard the song once. 5 songs, 5 days, man. Fucking amazing.
Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova, 'cause people believe that they're gonna get away for the summer. But you and I will live and die, the world's still spinning around, we don't know why.
No, we don't need that last one.
Alright.
Yeah.
You better go for the footer. Just soaking the boats here. The boats of the blues.
Hold on the bed.
Thank you. The fucking curse of United.
Out the fucking bird! Come on! Come on then!
Good times, man. Loved it in that place. But it's not fucking prison, is it? You know what I mean? If I'm not needed today, I'm hardly going to sit and fucking watch you play guitar, you know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking going to the pub. But it did cause arguments.
Nearly. That's that then, man.
So it'd be always like that. Right, he's doing his guitars, he'll be in there all fucking day, won't he, Slash? We could go to the fucking pub. And he'd come out and he'd be like, all right, guys, what does anyone think? Where's everyone?
Where's everyone gone?
Yeah, I was a sucker for the pub, man. You go in there one day and you meet the local fucking drug dealer. Yeah, I probably did bring a few people back one night.
Probably a bad move, because Noel's still working at the studio.
No, I shouldn't have brought them back, but I thought we were a rock and roll band, you know what I mean? I thought anything goes in Oasis, you know what I mean? Obviously, other people had rules, you know what I mean? Oh, fuck the rules, man.
Sing a sad song in a lonely place. Try to put a wedding for me.
As I recall, Liam was going pretty fucking mad. Somebody let a fire extinguisher off in the farmhouse. I think maybe one of my guitars got damaged and I blamed him.
He just exploded into a big fucking bunch of chaos like you'd never seen, man.
I ended up having a proper fight with Liam. I mean, it might have been the biggest fight we ever had. I remember smashing his head in with a cricket bat. Yeah.
The whole studio got smashed to pieces. There was like loads of little bits in the corner going... Everything just got fucking blitzed.
I'm not generally an obnoxious, belligerent dude, but somebody must have got on my tits, you know what I mean?
Probably me not giving a fuck, and him trying to write fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. And me sort of just going, bollocks, let's have it.
I do remember jumping out of a window, driving off with Whitey. Liam appeared out of nowhere and threw a dustbin at the car. And we'd only known Alan about 2 weeks. And he was saying, can't be over, I've only just joined. We were like, no, this is going to happen all the time. And he was going, fucking hell, mate, what kind of fucking band is it? You fucking join the Trogs.
Yeah, it was terrible. It happened, man, but there's no need for the cricket fucking bat round the head. You know what I mean?
Every time there was ever a scene in Oasis, when we'd all get back together, it was like nothing had ever happened. We had a tour booked, and we were rehearsing in Brixton Academy. It was all fine. Me and Griggs got a taxi home. The next day, Griggs just doesn't show up. Marcus arrives and says Griggs wants to leave the band.
What's happened to Griggs? He's had a bit of a fucking breakdown. That's when you kick yourself, you know, with that blinkered that you couldn't stop and notice that your mate wasn't feeling right.
Any kind of chaos going on around you would shut down, do you know what I mean? Bass players are like that.
Griggs is a gentle soul, you know what I mean? He wasn't like me and Noel or like Bonehead. You know, we were fucking pretty mental.
He was suffering from nervous exhaustion. As rock stars always are. My nerves are exhausted. Or my exhaustion is fucking getting me nervous. I don't know. I've never had it myself. It's a funny thing.
Maybe smoked too much weed, maybe just needed a breather, you know what I mean?
We weren't the kind of band that was like, oh, poor Griggs or poor Liam. It was like, fuck that cunt. We've got shit to do, man.
We went for Scott McLeod from a little band that we'd played with in the past called the Yayas. What a great job he got, didn't he? Did you fancy being a bass player in Oasis? Fucking yes.
I don't know how long it was before we got on the plane to go to the States, but even that was chaos.
This is Scott, by the way.
We were on the way to New York to do David Letterman. Maggie, our tour manager, God bless that woman, we put her through absolute fucking hell. She came in kind of half laughing, going, you'll never guess what's just happened. Scott's just told me he wants to, like, quit. And I remember going to the back lounge and saying to him, mate, what? And he said these words, I'm just missing me bird.
You know, there's people that are cut out for it and there's people that ain't. But he might have just gone, you know what? This is not for me. It's either that or his bird must have been fit as fuck, you know what I mean?
I always take things like that. I would always laugh my way through it and think, even, you know, as you're driving into America to do David Letterman and the bass player that's standing in for the bass player who's got nervous exhaustion is saying, I can't handle it anymore. And we're laughing going, we must be the biggest bunch of cunts in the world because our mate is fucking sat at home watching the cricket. He don't want to be in a band with us. This fucking clown here, who's on the dole in England, he don't want to be in a... I mean, are we like the biggest three cunts in the world? It didn't deter us. We got to New York, Bonehead got up, you're playing bass, and we do it as a four-piece.
Our next guests are the most popular rock and roll band in Britain today. Can you guys prove it? Seriously, how would we know? Are you really? Okay, I'll take your word for it. All right, okay, I believe you. I'm going to believe you this time, but if there's trouble later with the equipment missing... Yeah, all right, here, just relax.
You need a little time to wake up. You need a little time to wake up, wake up. Need a little time to wake up. You need a little time to rest your mind. You know you said so, I guess so you might as well. What's the story about it?
Being in the best band and the most important band of your generation shouldn't be a walk in the park, you know what I mean?
We come back to England, we've got these gigs coming up, they're sold out. They're going to be monumental. We didn't have a bass player.
Radio 1.
The biggest ever indoor gig in Britain will rock the capital tomorrow night as Oasis roll into London. They'll play 2 blistering sets over the weekend at Earl's Court in front of nearly 40,000 fans.
Hey, Noel. Hello. Rumours of a split or what?
A banana split, yeah.
Yeah? Where's the rest of the band tonight, then?
Who cares?
Marcus was saying, we'll just cancel everything, to a chorus of, whoa, 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 what the fuck? That's not how we run shit. If my fucking mum has got to play bass, that gig is happening. I think we gave Griggs first refusal and said, are you going to do this gig or what?
I remember just getting a message like, Griggs is going to come back and do the gig. Hallelujah. But then there was a part of me thinking, guys, is he going to come on and just collapse? It was pretty hairy.
We never fussed about it. It was like, have a nice fucking rest, did you lazy fucker? I didn't even know you fucking gone. What? You had a fucking breakdown? Fucking, when did it happen?
Look, Oasis wasn't for wimps. So I was glad Griggs came back, you know what I mean? He was part of the band, but the show must go on.
what I mean? Where you just stand perfectly fucking still while there's all this chaos going on around you, and all these kids are just fucking leaping about, and the sound's like pumping, roaring. I'd just be stood completely fucking still like a boxer, just thinking, this is the best feeling in the world. Pure control. Not feeling the need to join the madness. Just absolute fucking still.
Sunday, pre-fucking the liquid room. One word.
Say what up, kid? Sausages, what? Looking old, you these days. Who is you, dick? Since you're fucking not my fault, it's your fault.
Liam was always cooler than me, I think. He had a better walk, and clothes looked better on him, and he was taller, and he had a better haircut, and he was funnier. Liam clearly would have liked to have had my talent as a songwriter.
No, that's not me. Come, you're looking as old as I am. So what about?
And there's not a day go by where I don't wish I could rock a parka like that man.
He's 5 years younger than I am. That's what it's about. Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
I know Noel thinks I'm brilliant. We didn't need to pat each other on the back and go, oh, you're great. Me and him were like telepathic, you know what I mean?
Kiss for the camera.
There was a period where he was the greatest singer in the world. Added to that, the greatest frontman. Added to that, he was a fucking good-looking boy as well. They were the magic years, you know. The trick is keeping that shit going.
What's all that about Liam walking off the stage or something? What happened there?
He does it all the time, though. He does it.
It's part of the show.
Yeah. It never dawned on me to be a singer until he started walking off stage in the middle of gigs, and it's kind of like, oh, fucking hell, you know, I've got another 40 minutes left here. Someone better do something.
I can't be singing the songs for you because it's all fucked, you know what I mean? Sorry, you know what I mean, but I can't sing it.
I had problems, man, with my throat, just probably caning it too much. Fucking screaming and shit. I don't know. Singing them songs, the way I sing them, is like being in a boxing match. It takes its wear and tear.
You know what I mean? And of course, what happened 9 times out of 10 was I'd take over. But the more you'd finish the gigs, the more it enabled him to do it. And then he would just do it at the drop of the hat.
Just give us a minute, right? 1 minute. I'm going to have to sing for you, right? So there you go.
Never, ever could not be arsed getting on that stage. I fucking take massive offence to that.
That's one of the reasons why I had to start doing vocals, you know what I mean? And then I thought, oh, hang on a minute, this is all right. That girl's staring at me, that's even better.
I wonder what, actually, you guys have been doing for a while. Noel's been doing it acoustically. Yeah. How did that come about? How did he
just decided he wanted to do acoustic songs, which is cool. But now when we get back to England, we're going to spread it out. We're going to do them as a band.
You're still having a good time?
Yeah, I'm rocking, yeah. When I'm allowed to do the job, I think it's good, yeah, I'm happy. When I'm not allowed to do the job, I'm not happy.
He's a great fucking songwriter and always will be, but singing's my gig. If you're going to start singing the fucking songs as well as writing them, what am I doing, making the fucking tea? All the coming off and I'm doing this tune. I was walking on stage like a fucking yo-yo, you know what I mean, half the time. Here he comes, here he goes, here he comes. Leave it out, you're taking the piss, mate. So therefore there will be a bit of frustration and the wheels might come off tonight.
I've left once.
For a long period?
A couple of weeks. Yeah. Shouldn't have come back. Biggest mistake I ever made was coming back. Because Morning Glory would have been my first solo album, and I'd have had all the fucking money. Yeah, I mean, yeah, our kids left on a couple of occasions. I've been sacked on a couple of occasions, actually, and yeah. But no, I suppose...
How does that work? 4/5 of vote sort of thing?
Oh, no, I'll just sack him.
Oh.
You, out.
Noel said in the music papers the other day about only a couple more records.
About him leaving the band. I feel he's got loads and loads of albums left inside him, and us as a band have got loads and loads of gigs to do and things to do and can make them. You know what I mean? I don't feel no way of splitting up. I'm not into that at all.
What, if he feels it, then he feels it. I mean, a good slap down the jaw, man, will change his mind.
This is yet another song with shit lyrics. Wonderwall. Today was gonna be the day they were gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Morning Glory took on a life of its own after Wonderwall, and then Don't Look Back in Anger came consecutively as singles. Then it just blew up all over the world.
There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I don't know how. Except maybe you're gonna be the one.
The songs on that record, they're extraordinary songs. And they're not extraordinary songs because of anything that I did. I only wrote them, and we only played them. It's the millions of people since who fucking sing them back to you to this day that have made them extraordinary.
Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
There's nothing better than singing them songs, man, to the people, fucking blast their souls, and them just going fucking apeshit.
And all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're not the one that I want. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me.
Main road and the streets surrounding it really are stone's throw from where I was born. That really was a homecoming gig, you know, it was, for all of us.
I'm a Man City supporter and I've been all my life. To be offered to play a gig like that, it was unbelievable. We still felt like a cult band, selling out 2 nights at a stadium.
The greatest band in the world, the greatest bands in the world. Good night.
I remember sitting in a box on my own, watching the stadium empty with the floodlights on, trying to appreciate it, thinking, where does it go from here? But then almost immediately, bang, you're into a party.
Still to come, it's gone 13 times platinum. It charted a year ago today. Is it the greatest album ever written?
I think it is fair to say that What's the Story, Morning Glory, is probably one of the biggest selling albums of all times.
Without doubt, the biggest band around in Britain at the moment is Oasis, the fastest selling album of the decade.
What, you ask me if I'm happy? Listen, I've got £87 million in the bank. I've got a Rolls Royce. I've got 3 stalkers. I'm about to go on the board at Manchester City. I'm part of the greatest band in the world. Am I happy with that? No, I'm not! I want more!
The Oasis brothers here. What did you think about it tonight?
Boring. I thought we should have won more.
Really?
Yeah, should have been voted the best rap artist. I thought he should have been voted best band because he's got 7 personalities.
Oasis. Oasis. Oasis, wonderful.
What does a Brit Award mean? Fuck all. In the grand scheme of things, all that shit was irrelevant.
Has-beens shouldn't present fucking awards to Gonna Be.
One of the heads of the Brits said, this will ruin your career, you fucking bell end. If anyone's going to ruin my career, it's going to be me, not you.
Which of your 3 awards is most important to you?
The one voted for by the fans means a lot. Anything that's voted for by fans is special. Anything that's voted for by idiots, corporate pigs, means nothing to us.
You know, because really, the music, fuck all that. Writing songs is difficult. Talking shit is easy. When I do an interview, I'm there to be a fucking gobshite and to cause as much fucking trouble as possible.
As soon as people realise that the majority of the people in this country take drugs, then, I mean, the better off we'll all be. Everybody does it. You do it, 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 and you do it. He doesn't do it. Because he's a Buddhist. You know, it's like getting up and having a cup of tea in the morning.
It's as common as having a cup of tea.
He was immediately condemned by politicians, with one minister calling him a spoilt brat.
The press lapped that shit up because no one had ever come along that was even remotely like us. We were the biggest band in the country, and we didn't give a fuck.
I was asked the question, I gave my opinions, nothing that them or anybody else can do about it. We don't really care what they write about us in the press, as long as we're on the cover. They can write anything they want about us inside, but as long as we're on the cover, they don't matter.
It'd do your head in sometimes when they're writing shit about you and that, and fucking outside your house and stuff, but that's what I signed up for, you know what I mean?
Liam, come here, a big picture! Liam! Wait. You know the story, it's going to play, that's what's going on.
Second to the singing was being the ultimate #1 fucking rock star in this fucking country, and that's what I was. I remember going to the pub some days at like 11 o'clock. By 12:30, people would be dancing on the tables and snorting cocaine, you know what I mean? You're like, fucking hell, I went for the fucking pint and I read the paper, and now fucking all hell's broke loose, you know what I mean?
It did make life quite difficult, though. The day that it steps over into the tabloids and then stays there for years, then you've gone to the dark side, and then the clock is ticking then.
It had been billed as one of the most sensational trials in pop music history. Tony McCarroll, the drummer sacked by Oasis, going to court in search of a multi-million-pound slice of the band's annual earnings.
When shit like that starts happening, you do start thinking, oh, the fun's taken out of it. You start a band with the best intentions of just trying to get a big telly and a fit bird, and the next thing is everybody's hovering around you with leather man bags full of shit for you to sign. How did it get to this?
And that was the change. Your mates have been slowly discarded to the side. It's a business now you're in. The people behind the scenes were determined to make it a brand. It was even hard to get on the guest list some days.
At this point, the dynamic has changed that much. It's now in the hands of the industry. And I think the spirit of any band rapidly disappears, and it's all about the money.
Here we have Mr. Mark Coyle, sat looking rather subdued in the corner. Can you say that a little more graphically? Thank you. And here we have, always chipper in the morning, this young man. Can't get the bastard down. We tried several times. We've put monkeys on his back, a cement mixer once, and we still couldn't get the bastard down. Look at that kipper.
When you're in the bubble, sometimes you need a bit of guidance, don't you? It felt like all the people that were with us at the beginning kind of getting pushed out a bit.
I think the best times are when everybody is together and that gang is out on the road. They're the best of times, doing them little gigs. It does lose something when, you know, the industry grabs a hold.
I do recall Mark coming up to me and saying, I don't think I can do it anymore. People were regularly coming into the dressing room going, fucking hell, that was loud.
I went to see a doctor with my ears, got ringing ears. The doctor says to me, stop doing this because you will go deaf. So I left. And that was the end of my live life. I'd had enough as well, I think.
I think he said to me in the past he thought it got a bit too big for him. I really admire him for that.
I think it was a bit more than that. I think it was just getting a bit too corporate for him. You know, one minute you're fucking hanging with your mates, having the crack, but when management come into it, it changes, doesn't it?
If anybody was a fifth member of that band, it was Mark. Yeah, and he made me a little bit sad that he wasn't going to be on tour anymore. Soon after Phil Smith quit, I still can't work out what was going through his fucking head at the time. In the early days, it was the 5 band, Coyle and Phil. That was it. Yeah, it's a shame that he wasn't around. But it's not the end of the fucking world. Beginning of a new world, you know what I mean?
The machine goes on, and the band goes on. I'm not getting in the way of that. Walking away from that, I'll never get over that. But it was the right thing to do.
The Irish side of you then, is it important to you?
Absolutely. I'm actually building a house in Ireland at the moment, with my mum.
And how's she getting on?
She's actually got the tabloids in the front garden all the time. She's very good at standing on the doorstep with the brush. Will you come out, will you? Come out!
You can listen to their albums, but when you go to a gig and there's thousands and thousands of people, that's when it brings it home to you. That's really when I feel most proudest, really.
Slip inside the eye of your mind, but don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you'd never be, but all the things that you've seen gonna fade away. Gonna start a revolution from my bed. Set the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. 'Cause you ain't never gonna burn my heart out. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. So slide away. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say.
I remember those gigs at the Point being, like, wildly emotional. It was breathtaking, the kind of energy and the vibe in the room.
So slide away. But don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. It's not today.
It's that immigrant thing, isn't it? It's that sense of identity. Ireland saw them as their own. I mean, everybody was in such a good mood. So we got back to the hotel, right? So there was loads of us in this bar.
That hotel was fairly public, because Ireland didn't really have security around rock bands them days. Anyone could walk in off the street. My dad, we'd seen him skulking around, and I thought, where the fuck is this going on?
Someone turned around and said, "The old fella's over there with a journalist, trying to get something going," and I was about to kill him.
Oh, that was awful, that. I couldn't believe that that happened, because it really spoiled their night.
There was a scene. I was trying to take the dignified approach. Fuck him, do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. We were better than that.
Noel was saying to Liam, do not react. He's at one end and Noel and Liam at the other, and Liam's going, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And that's when they locked the horns. Don't fucking react, you're not gonna react, you know.
I was fucking steadfastly not going to get involved. Do you think Liam was a little bit upset?
To give Noel his due credit, he contained Liam, because Liam would have gone for him. And Noel protected his brother, got him out of there, because they were obviously looking for, you know, the big fight.
I probably got calmed down by our kid, I think. It's just pathetic, you know what I mean, in front of the press with his son, you know what I mean? It's like, see you later, mate. Round about that time, there was a story every couple of fucking months. poor old fucking dad's trying to get in touch with his famous sons, but they don't want anything to do with him. All that bollocks.
He had no intentions of making up with them. That was his last thought, but of course he got paid from the News of the World. And then, of course, it was all over the papers the next day. God.
Thank you for phoning the News of the World's Oasis Family Reunion line. It was the first conversation that the estranged father and son had in years.
Hello? Hello? Liam? Yeah, yeah, how you keeping? All right, how are you? We're up for the concert, we couldn't get tickets. Yeah, you're not going to get tickets. I'll catch you walking around the lobby and it's on sale. Oh, right, see you later.
He's always said it was me and the three kids that ruined his life. But I would just like him to know that it wasn't us that ruined his life. He ruined his own life.
You know, it's kind of long since over whatever was going on with my old fella. All I care about is the music, you know. In the end, none of this will matter. When it's all said and done, what will remain is the songs.
Remember Marcus Russell saying to me, so we book these big gigs just while they can? Fucking Nebworth, bigger, bigger. I imagine a fucking load of money involved. So you're it's like a fucking truck running down a hill that is burning, and the wheels are fucking falling off. But everyone's going, it's fucking brilliant. So I don't know when it's going to end, Owen.
Somebody suggested that the next thing we should do should be these things at Nebworth. They didn't really have much significance to me. But, you know, somebody's only got a whisper in my ear. Oh, these are the biggest gigs of all time. And like, yes, well, that's me, yeah. Thank you. You've just sold it to me. Thank you very much.
The giant stage lies dark and silent. Tomorrow, that'll be the focus for 250,000 people.
Do you know, over 4% of the population applied for tickets for Oasis? 4% of the population.
In just over 3 years, Oasis will have gone from being a new signing to one of rock's true giants.
You know, everyone was taking a big leap of faith that we were going to sell these shows out. And the first one, I think, went on sale, and it, sold out in, minutes.
As if by magic, the sun's got his hat on. Hey!
The idea was put to us, we should put another 2 nights on sale immediately. And I think for the first time ever, we kind of backed away. Don't know, maybe we got the sense that it had become too big. And you find out afterwards that we could have done 7 nights.
Can't believe that we only done 2 nights. Whose fucking great idea was that? We should still be there playing right now.
And finally, it's been called the Rock Concert of the Decade. 250,000 rock fans at Nebworth in Hertfordshire.
In a few hours, the hype becomes reality when Oasis take to the stage.
John, describe the scene for us.
I do often think, what was it all about? When we got to Nebworth, we'd only just become rock stars. And I said to Coyley and Phil, you're getting on that helicopter because they were our 2 oldest mates. Really, you should be there to see it with us. This thing that we're all part of. It did feel like the end of something as opposed to the beginning of something. I had a sense of that, even at Nebworth, do you know what I mean? That it was never going to happen again. That it happened in such a short space of time. 2.5 years from signing off to walking out on that stage is just magic. We had a band who had the tunes. They were grafters who came from nothing and wanted it all.
We were the last. We were the greatest. Nothing anybody does can be as big as Oasis.
Never, it'll never get repeated. Not because we were great or better than anyone else, just because we didn't actually give a flying fuck. We've definitely got a table upstairs with the big boys, whether they like it or not.
It was the pre-digital age. It was the pre-talent show, reality TV age. Things meant more. It was just a great time to be alive. Never mind a great time to be in Oasis. We were about to enter into a celebrity-driven culture. And I've always thought that it was the last great gathering of the people before the birth of the internet. It's no coincidence that things like that don't happen anymore. 20 years ago, the biggest musical phenomenon was a band that came from council estates. I just think in the times in which we live, it would be unrepeatable. We should be worried about that, because where's it going to be 20 years from now?
I just wanted it all fucking there and then, you know what I mean? I just wanted it all to happen in one big fuck-off explosion of madness. I loved every minute of it. It meant the be-all and end-all, man. Life or death. And I wouldn't change anything. I'd do it all again in a fucking heartbeat.
That was my life. That band was my life. So it went above and beyond anything I ever imagined. That was the pinnacle for me. It was like, what the fuck do you go from there?
A man is special people change. A man allows to live is strange. Where we while we were getting high. Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where we while we were getting high. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky. Wake up the dawn and ask you why. Dream a dream, she never dies. Wipe that tear away now from your eye. Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. While we were getting high. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova. 'Cause people believe that they're gonna get away from the summer. But you and I will live and die. The world's still spinning around. We don't know why.
It felt fucking biblical, man. It was a miracle that we even got there. It was everything and more than I asked for. Yeah, we felt untouchable, man. Supersonic even.
People make the mistake of thinking that the people on the stage here are defining something. What if no one turns up? We can all sit here and suck each other's ball bags about 2.6 million people applying for tickets. But you know what's great about that? Is the 2.6 million people, not anything that we did. And the people were with us.
then was more, give me more, give me more. Now, looking back, I honestly think we should have just went, thank you, every one of you, for getting us here. We were Oasis, and good night, and walked off.
We should have. We should have disappeared into a puff of smoke. But, you know, it was my idea to keep going because I keep on fishing for it, do you know what I mean? And I'm an addict. Well, that's what shit kickers do. They ride it till the wheels come off.
Just because you can't get any bigger or any higher, don't mean to say you can't keep doing it, you know what I mean? Just because you kiss the sky, give it a fucking love bite.
When you're on stage, who are you playing to?
On stage, when he turns to me and I turn to him and like we just both look at each other, everything just clicks and it just like transcends music. And there's only me and him that will ever get this. And that's what it's about for us.
Sometimes I do look back and I think, well, I wish it had gone a different way, but it hasn't. It's caused a lot of problems with them too. But that's their life, so you have to just let them get on with it.
I get where she's coming from, because obviously me and our kid ain't got a relationship anymore, but who's to say if we'd have been a pair of fishmongers, we'd have still slapped each other with a bit of trout every now and again. Yeah, well, I guess it's like a fight. We were kind of like fucking Mike Tyson band, you know what I mean? We just come in fucking blazing, knocking everyone out. We were never going to do 10 rounds, and it was never going to get to point. At the end of the day, I wait up and I go, right, do the good times outweigh the bad times? Fucking 100%. I'm happy with that.
You couldn't say that anybody that was ever in Oasis, me included, was the best in the world at anything. But when it all came together, we made people feel something that was indefinable. We're still the same band that was playing in the Boardwalk. We virtually are wearing the same clothes. All that's happened is it's caught fire and all these people have got on board. But people will never, ever, ever forget the way that you made them feel. There's a chemistry between the band and the audience. There's something magnetic drawing the two to each other. The love and the vibe and the passion and the rage and the joy that are coming from the crowd. If anything, that's what Oasis was.
And then dance if you wanna dance, please brother, take